because Conor McGregor is the baddest man on the planet. And his boxing skills, I think, are being underrated and underestimated.
You're fighting a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Okay. Hey, Conor, you're fighting a Taekwondo black belt. Okay. Hey, Conor, you're fighting a UFC world champion. Okay. Hey, Conor, you're fighting boxing's pound for pound #1. Okay. It's another day for me. I get a phone call, I get the style of the opponent, the way he fights, and then I prepare to fight him. It's another fucking day for me. So that's it.
My name is Luke Thomas. I'm the host of the Luke Thomas Show on SiriusXM Radio, Channel 93. I'm also senior editor at MMAfighting.com. And today it has become official. Conor McGregor, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but it's true. Conor McGregor is going to face Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match, August 26th, at what appears to be the T-Mobile Arena, but
the UFC brand.
No, absolutely not. At the end of the day, these two guys wanted this fight. The fans wanted this fight. And, you know, Conor is a mixed martial artist. He's going into a boxing match with arguably the greatest boxer of all time. You know, I don't think it damages the brand or Conor McGregor at all. I think it actually elevates Conor McGregor. The fact that this kid who has so much to lose is willing to step in and is absolutely confident that he will win this fight. I think it's one of the many reasons that people love Conor McGregor. And, you know, win, lose, or draw, it'll be one of the reasons that people continue to love Conor McGregor.
Yeah, Dana, I know you're a tremendous boxing fan. You followed the sport for years. Mean toward a fight against Floyd Mayweather.
Right. I mean, listen, is he, you know, at the level of a Floyd Mayweather as far as boxing standards go? No. But the kid, first of all, is a southpaw, you know, and people can, you know, argue one way or another. Floyd, traditionally, if you want to say there's ever been a kink in the armor with that kid, it's with southpaws. And Conor McGregor is an absolute knockout artist. When he hits you, you go. So it's part of the fun of this fight. Is Conor McGregor in a 12-round fight going to be able to touch Floyd Mayweather?
This match is, quote, disgusting to people in boxing and a complete disgrace. What do you say to that?
Well, I think that, you know, I don't know how many people really feel that way. Oscar feels that way because Oscar didn't get the fight. If I was doing this deal with Oscar right now, he'd be far from disgusted. I promise you that one. But at the end of the day, anybody who knows anything about fighting, when two men get in there and they square off and they start throwing punches, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And you know, this isn't one of those things where we put together, you know, some type of crazy fight for no reason. This is a fight that the fans demanded. The fans wanted to see this fight. It's the most talked about fight on the planet right now, and it will be the biggest fight ever in the history of two people punching each other. So they can be as disgusted as they want. It's what people want to see.
Stephen A., let's bring you back into the discussion. Dana's point was simply, if Oscar was a part of this, he wouldn't be saying that, neither would most of the boxing community. What are your thoughts on that?
He's absolutely right. And you know, listen, represent my position very, very clearly. You asked me a question about what the boxing community feels like. Dana White alluded to what the public is demanding. He's absolutely positively on the money. And Dana knows that I'm right, just like I know he's right. There are people outside of the boxing ring that have been clamoring for this fight for at least the last year. It's primarily what they talk about. But in the boxing community, you have folks within that community that feel it's an insult for a guy like Floyd Money Mayweather to give an opportunity to a UFC fighter who's never been in the boxing ring. That's how they feel. That's the argument that they're making. And he's also right about the fact that if this were Oscar De La Hoya making this fight instead of Dana White with Money Mayweather and obviously Conor McGregor, if this was Oscar De La Hoya and he was a part of this and he had an opportunity to make the money that this fight is projected to make, he would be very, very happy with a huge smile on his face. So Dana White is absolutely right about that. But I also think Oscar's right in terms of how folks within the boxing community feels. I think Oscar was real and authentic with saying what he said, but I also think that he would still have a smile on his face if he had an opportunity to make that money, despite how he feels the fight shouldn't happen. If he had an opportunity to make money off of it, he certainly would not have turned it down. So nobody's wrong with what they're saying.
Dana, anything there?
And just so you know, so this fight, Yeah, and the thing is this, for the boxing community to be disgusted, first of all, it's about the fans. What do the fans want to see? And if you're a fan of combat sports, this is the greatest end of the year ever. Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor are going to fight. Triple G is going to fight Canelo. I got a great lineup for the rest of this year, and so does boxing. So at the end of the day, I mean, all these guys, the thing that upset me about Oscar De La Hoya is he comes out and starts asking fans not to buy the fight. What?
That's fair.
What is that?
That's
First
fair.
of all, number one. Number two, it's an incredible opportunity for fans of combat sports for the end of this year. There's so many great fights, and because sometimes there's big runs and big gaps between big fights. We have nothing but a great lineup at the end of this year, and everybody should be thrilled, including the boxing guys and Oscar De La Hoya.
Steve, let me throw this in and say this about Dana White right here. See, this is why I've always said anybody that's a fight of pugilism, you got to love Dana White, because what's the first thing I said when his mic went dead? I said, hey, the man gives people the fights that they want to see. And what he's essentially saying by saying what he just said about Oscar De La Hoya, it's not for other people to decide what the public should want. It's for folks in these respective sports, whether it's the UFC or boxing, to give the people what they want, because we are the paying customer. When you look at the UFC, the one thing that's undeniable about Dana White, and why I must sit here and absolutely applaud him, he doesn't wait forever to give us the fights we're clamoring for. We ask for it, he delivers it, and he makes his fighters get up in that octagon and fight. What's the problem with boxing? Boxing historically has procrastinated in terms of dragging their feet and making us wait for the fights that we truly want to see. Now, in Oscar De La Hoya's case, he didn't wait that long. He delivered on this Canelo Alvarez Triple G fight September 16th. Major props to him, because he said he was going to do it before 2017 expired, and he delivered. But far too often than not, whether it's Mayweather, Pacquiao, or anybody else, one of the things that has hurt boxing is they've kept us waiting entirely too long for fights that we clamored for to actually happen. And as a result, even when they did happen, we found ourselves questioning who is beyond their prime. Did they take too much punishment? Did we have to wait too long? Did we miss out on what really would have happened if both of them had fought in their prime? Dana White and the UFC does not do that, and they deserve our profound respect for that.
Well said. The wait is over. About 2 months. Stephen A. said sometimes you got to wait forever, but now the countdown clock is on a little over 2 months.
Yeah, but it's done. It's going to be 12 rounds. It will be August 26th at the T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. And then they're going to wear 10-ounce gloves, 154 pounds, boxing ring. Mayweather Promotions will build the undercard. It will be a boxing event. Showtime is the, they have a deal with Floyd. So trying to throw all the information I can at you. That's about it.
This is a stupid fight. It is a stupid fight. Like, it's not competitive on paper in any way that makes sense. But here's the interesting thing to think about here. If what we know about the known universe is real, if what we know is true, then yes, Conor McGregor is going to get washed or at least lose in some capacity, yes? But if there's anything we know about Conor McGregor, it is his capacity to make us question whether or not our assumptions of the known world are accurate or dead wrong. Now, that's different. He's done that in MMA contexts. He's done that in certain cases, not merely in MMA context, but promotional MMA context, some that has nothing to do with competition. And this is certainly a very different thing. But this is, yes, if you're asking me, do I think this makes sense that a commission licensed maybe the best defensive fighter in the last 50 years to fight a guy who has no pro experience in boxing? Yeah, I find that odd. Do I find it odd that there are a cadre of people who even want to see this anyway? Yeah, I find it odd. But and I don't think McGregor has much of a chance, rationally speaking. But it all rests on these assumptions about whether what we know about the known world is accurate. And if Conor McGregor has shown anything, it's that over time, sometimes those assumptions need to be checked. I'm surprised about the weight, too. I'm surprised about the weight. This fight I thought was going to be contracted at 147 pounds, which is welterweight in boxing, and it's much more Floyd's natural weight. He can fight as low as 141 at light welterweight. And this is sort of super welterweight or junior middleweight. Now, he fought Canelo that high, did just fine. But I was kind of surprised by that. I'm also surprised that
people who are saying that Floyd Mayweather is going to win and there's zero chance for Conor, I think a lot of them are just saying what you would expect to conclude given the numbers. You know, kind of like how during the 2016 election, all the polls and all the statistics and all the numbers told you that Donald Trump had no chance of fucking winning. And a lot of people are saying, oh, Floyd Mayweather, he's 49-0, he's undefeated. He's the king of the boxing sport. And, you know, Conor McGregor is just an outsider. What does he know about boxing? Of course, the dude who has built his entire career in boxing is going to beat the guy who's built his entire career in MMA. Again, it's an interesting parallel.
We've never seen Conor box.
What would you say?
Mayweather's a way better boxer, but the consequences of Conor hitting you should be greater. And I say should be, because I think he's certainly a stronger puncher than Mayweather.
I can't sit right here and knock Conor McGregor. I'm not here to knock a guy. Conor McGregor is the second biggest name in MMA, so I'm not going to sit right here and knock Conor McGregor.
And Conor's so much bigger. I swear to God, and I will show the ticket when I do it. I will put money on Conor going today.
Meanwhile, Hernandez is just digging away, trying to stay chest to chest with Mayweather. Gets a chance to hit Floyd after the referee said stop. 4. And this is going to be called.
He's got extraordinary movement, and he's bigger. He's a far bigger guy. I mean, he's a big-framed guy, and he's strong and young.
Do you think he's got the heart to really stand through a full fight with Mayweather?
Well, he certainly does, because he went through a full fight with Nate Diaz. He won the rematch in a 5-round war.
Yeah, which was good.
It's you can never guess. Like, anybody who guesses what a guy has, like, as far as heart and determination, it's foolish. He'll show you with his actions, or she'll show you with her actions.
He went out there and done what he had to do. It's obvious he's done something right thus far to get to the point where he's at. So I'm not here to badmouth him.
And it's crazy. I know people are like, God, you're such a Conor credit. I get it. However, Conor's weight is so big, and he is exceptionally fast for how big he is.
8 ounces. Big left hand over the top by Judah. He believes he's got no other hurt. Crowd is going wild for Judah. He landed a straight left cross flush.
Couple years, and I'm 40 years old now, so I'm a lot older, and he's still in his 20s.
You can't guess. So whenever people guess, they start saying, like, oh, he'll never be able to survive a tough fight, or oh, he doesn't have the guts. Then you mistake, like, your understanding of what you see in front of you for what's going to happen. One of the things that makes this fight intriguing is we've never seen Floyd box a guy like Conor McGregor, and we've definitely never seen Conor McGregor box, especially at a level that the UFC, or excuse me, that Floyd Mayweather is at.
With 20 seconds.